before I get back to my next run through of Ease 8, I got another swag for you. I didn't plan to, but apparently this is something that's in demand, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. And as I looked at the project, it won't take me too long to do the swag because there's so much wrong with this one that it won't take me that long. This one's called Tectonic, Tectonic.finance. Tectonic claims to be a cross-chain money market. Now, there's a couple of big problems I got with this one. First of all, it's on the Kronos chain, by the way. But first of all, there's no way in hell this is going to fly in the United States. So if you're in the United States and you go with this, look, it's on you. That's on you, hey, because everything they're doing, I would argue, violates every law possible with respect to the SEC. Based on what I'm seeing, I don't see any compliance at all with it. So when we say your own risk, take that times 100 and you got Tectonic. So I don't think that I think the way they did it, they apparently partnered with VVY Finance, which is a different deal on the Kronos chain. And what they said was anybody who's in that community, we're just going to airdrop you the tokens because we're not going to make it buy and sell. We're not going to do the pre-sale. We're not going to do all this other stuff. Well, here's the thing. I'm actually okay with that approach to give the tokens. The idea that we're not going to buy, sell it. We're going to just simply distribute it from a community perspective. I got no problem with that part of it. So the issuance of the tokens, I'm cool with it. Where I had a problem is the fact that what they're doing is blatantly against the law in the United States. That's the main thing I've got an issue with. So I'm going to summarize what it is they're talking about, but also let me talk about the other particulars as well. I would argue their website is garbage. It doesn't tell you much of anything. They have no faces. They have no names. They have no identity of whatever kind. They don't really do anything that would lend credibility on just the website. They're using the garbage Git book. So they're already on my hit list with an S because they're not doing anything fundamental. And I suspect it's because they know that if they were to do that, they'd have the SEC straight up knocking at their door if they were to do that. Now, I could be wrong and maybe they're just forgot, but I would speculate they know that what they're doing is sketchy. I see they have the best of intentions, but you can't do what they're talking about here. So in order to describe what they're trying to do, if you're in an exchange or you're aware of the exchanges, they have this feature where you can, quote, borrow cryptocurrency in exchange for assets that you deposit with them. So let's say you have 500 USDC or USD Tether or DAI or Binance USD, whatever. You deposit this 500, and I would say arguably every exchange not named Coinbase will let you borrow against your deposited assets. And usually that deposit is like 10 times whatever it is that you deposited. And this creates a risk percentage. So your risk percentage, they want it to not be over like 60%. So let's say you were to do 500 USD Tether. And of course, you can then withdraw 5,000 USD Tether or USDC or something else with the intent being that you would use it to trade other projects. So you're basically shorting in a sense because you're buying with money you don't really own. You're buying with borrowed money because you expect it's going to appreciate, and so then you would pay it back. It's essentially a loan, especially a short-term loan in cryptocurrency. That's what Tectonic is doing. They're saying we're going to create this utility and you'll be able to deposit your assets, and with the deposit, you'll be able to then borrow other cryptocurrency so you can do what you want to do with it. And you'll be able to withdraw the assets. And again, they initially deposited this to people's accounts doing an airdrop. They did not do it as a buy-sell up front. They said, we're going to do this initial airdrop distribution, no pre-sale to make it fair. Later, they made it available to buy and sell on Finance. And then they set up this application in order for people to be able to essentially short and borrow and do yield farming and all these other things. I am just saying that literally everything they're doing minus the airdrop is breaking all kinds of laws in the United States. And because they're ducking on their website with no exposure of who they are or what they're doing, if you're in the United States and you choose to go in this, you're accepting major risk. Here's the thing. if you want to do what they're talking about as far as just being able to borrow assets, you don't need this. Go to a real exchange, because the real exchange is required to file the right paperwork with the United States governments, and I'm referring to United States folks, to make sure that they're above the law. So at minimum, go to like Hotbit, let's say, or Kucoin. Kucoin lets you do it. Kucoin will happily let you do it. Kucoin will spam you to do it. They want you to do it. Go to Kucoin, go to Hotbit, go to Bitmark, go to somewhere else. Don't go to these guys. And I'm not saying that because I think it's a terrible project. I think that, again, from a legality perspective, whenever the government figures out what it's going to do, it's people like this they're going to come straight after. It's not the exchanges. For something like this, they're going to come after this, because you can't, at this point, you're stepping very strongly over that line into securities trading and, quote, securities fraud. So Tectonic Finance, if you want to do that, tectonic.finance on the Kronos network. I strongly do not recommend you do so, but if you do so and you're a gambler, by all means, I am certainly not doing it. I would much rather just go to exchange, because I know that I'll be taken care of, especially if you use KuCoin. I'll be just taken care of, and I'm above the law, and I can do the exact same thing that they're doing. There's really no value I see myself in what they're offering, but also I'm not confident in the way their website is built. They're not giving me any warm and fuzzy that they're above ground. They might be, but their website and their, quote, white paper and their messaging are not giving me any confidence that they're above ground. That's the flat truth of it. If they'd like to chat with me, love that smoke, bring it. But for now, I personally don't recommend it. It's up to you if you want to go after it.